screaming today.
I want to steal a Honda.
Well, no. A Honda was a nice trade-in. You want a hybrid Lexus? You want a hybrid Lexus?
Lorraine, the name of that one. Some Juicehead right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, we heard some great local ska, the Copacetic Blood from a Stone. TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Don't forget to check out TonyJones.org. Go to the contact page. You can be on this very show. And also, if you have some music, you can, like we talked about earlier, you can send it to me in the physical form, or you can send MP3s right over there. TonyJones.org. Go to the contact page. Chances are, if it doesn't totally suck, we'll play you right here on the Tony Jones Show. And then being the multitasker that I am, I'll also put that in rotation on Rhode Island Free Radio. George Garner is here. Crimson is here. Gentlemen, Crimson, are you doing much wrestling these days?
I took a good time off mostly for doing the Province Roller Derby, because a lot of times the big bouts are scheduled for wrestling. The same thing's going on with Roller Derby. But I am a cat out of the bag here, back
Breaking
in training. News. Yes, I'm back in training, getting the ring rust off me. It's just a question of when I'm going to run out and attack somebody.
Nice. That's awesome. Breaking news here on the Tony Jones Show.
Yeah. So, speaking of breaking, now this, the independent wrestling scene should always live. There's no chance that I'm going to ever see any hardcore again, right? Not whether from you or from the scene.
No, hardcore still exists. If you're looking for more like the ECW side, there's a few locally around New England that have more like as you get closer to Pennsylvania, they have more of that consistent edge. But again, it's kind of like, and actually Vince McMahon said this, it was like watching a train wreck. If you've seen so many train wrecks, it's not, it doesn't shock you anymore.
No, that's very true.
Yeah.
But there's different kinds of train wrecks. There are just plain old off-the-track train wrecks. And then there are epic body parts all over the ground.
The smell of burning flesh in the air.
The smell of burning flesh. Yes.
Well, I have one match that I came up with RWA a few years ago. It was in 2011 that no one still has done, and it's the barbed wire ladder match, but differently versus like barbed wire on the ropes.
Right.
Is wrapped around the ladder, and the title belt was in a cage. So you literally had to suffer to succeed. So when you see all these ladder matches where everyone runs up the ladder, you had to take your time going at this thing.
Only Terry Funk could run up that ladder.
Even as H, he probably still could.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Now I think that would fill the seats, but I'm sure as we have quite the fine legal department around here.
It would fill the prison, too.
It might fill up the it might fill up the lawyers' pockets and definitely fill up the insurance company's pockets.
Now this is all a case of what they call serendipity. Things coming into conjunction. I had forgotten that you were going to be on the show
It's okay, I'm forgettable.
Today. Here's my point. I knew I was going to be on Tony's show. I had forgotten who the guest was. So I didn't do this because you were going to be here, just to freshen my mind up. But last night I watched 2 hours of Mick Foley. The best of Mick Foley, the hardcore, his selection of the best hardcore matches, which really put me in a mood for barbed wire, thumbtacks, fire, and all these other things. So yeah, I don't know. It's just these things just happen.
It just kind of draws you in. Well, I'm glad. Almost kind of think of me brings you right to Foley and his hardcore stuff, especially him and Funk in Japan, where they have the explosives.
Oh man! There's a few, and I had the VHS of these, and every once in a while they pan to the audience, and the audience would just be disgusted. It's like if you can shock an audience in Japan, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, they got to experience the Hiroshima bomb. If you can shock them, yeah.
And it took Vader's eye getting knocked off his skull and hanging from like his face against Stan Hansen, and they were just went.
Although I'll tell you, like I've watched quite a bit of Japanese hardcore. Mm-hmm. To me, that resembles the train wrecks that you said you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
There's not that much artistry to the Japanese, at least, unless you have like Mick Foley and Terry Funk doing it, which then it's not Japanese. But there's not that much artistry to Japanese hardcore, it seems to me. It's almost like they set up for a circus stunt, perform the stunt. Everybody looks revolted. And, then it's okay, then set up the next stunt.
Yeah.
I mean, what I miss is the, ECW at its best, or PCW locally in Rhode Island, when they were theater pieces.
Yes.
In other words, as Mick Foley likes to say, you don't want blood all the time, but you want it when it counts.
Yeah.
And that's what I miss. In other words, believe me, I don't miss even ECW. It's I got sick of it watching it every show.
Yeah.
Because like you said, same thing.
Yep.
How many train wrecks? But a well done hardcore match is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, if you build up that story to it, and even that barbed wire ladder match with Sean and I, we just slowly built that story together, and it was like centered around that ladder to get to the title, but it was just the way we brought it up. It wasn't like instantly gushing blood. It was very slowly like trickled in, so to say.
And, I mean, even before that, if you can build up the angle where it gets to the point where you think that these guys really hate each other, and now they're in the squared circle with some barbed wire and a ladder, I mean, you can't beat that.
Oh, we actually messed with the locker room because as we were downstairs, like because the locker room's downstairs from the venue we were at, we actually had the ladder between us, and we actually, with the barbs around it, just stared at each other without saying a word, looking through the ladder at each other. Well, alcohol swabbing, like the actual barbed wire, and just staring at each other. And people come up and talk to us and realize we're not paying attention. We're like literally like evil grinning at each other, like right through this ladder. Like, yeah, I'm getting ready to kill you. And they got the locker room nervous where they cleared out to watch the match upstairs. They all came up like, this is going to get serious.
Right, now you can't actually, which brings up a good point. Now, you can't really engage in a match like that without feeling some genuine vicious emotions, correct?
It depends. Like, I mean, you get the adrenaline that kicks in for you. But again, like, as always a good wrestler, you're always more about protecting the other person. But the viciousness comes in when you start chopping someone, because then you're just like, that gets your aggression out.
Oh, absolutely. You have to watch. I mean, somebody's offering their body. I mean, you protect them.
Yep.
But you have to engage in some genuine emotion. In other words, you can't, a lot of people that don't understand wrestling at all say it's acting. It can't always be acting. In other words, to do some of the sequences that you do, there has to be genuine emotion in it.
It's much, in a sense, it's very much more like theater in the sense of you have to bring back an old emotion, stuff like that. And like there's one long time ago where I had to do like a scene with actual tears coming down my face in the storyline.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, and like literally I had to bring up a really sad thought I had in the past, and it just Niagara Falls right out, and people were like, wow, this is like real, this is hitting him, because it is something real that was hitting me. It just wasn't that real story, it was actually a real memory.
One of the cool things for me back in the day, again, we use that term a lot here, was the idea that
we're going to stop using it actually.
We're going to ban that for the new year. But one of the cool things always for me was the fact that the people in the audience had never seen anything like that before. And chances are, in some of the spots that I did, they were never going to see anything like that again. It's one of those things where there's people sitting around a campfire somewhere over the summer, and they're thinking, or they're telling their friends, I went to this independent show, and this guy got hit with a cheese grater, something on those lines. You've actually become part of the dichotomy by just kind of doing a silly independent wrestling show.
Yeah, the only problem is, though, that you arrive at the Mick Foley off the cell moment. What, in other words, literally, what do you do next?
Or you're 34 years old, sitting behind a microphone, and your leg feels like it's going to fall off of your body.
Yes, because mostly because Tony Jones doesn't like to brag, but it was King Kong Bundy at the other end of that cheese grater. So, the fact that you have both arms and both legs at this point,
and he was like at the end of his career at that point too. He was like really like. Just give me my $100 and let me beat up this kid and let me go.
And even going back again, as everything in Rhode Island does, back to even Dave Sage, he's got his own legend in the ring and stuff where, and he'll probably be listening to us and just shaking his head going, shut up, Crib. But it's where we've had like our own Royal Rumble going. He hits the ring and everyone cleared out of the ring. Everyone's like, no, I want nothing to do with you.
Well, we'll go back to some music. We'll come back and, again, in total switch of genres, we'll talk a little bit about writing. So we're going to go from hardcore wrestling to the literary world right here on the Tony Jones Show. After we hear some Ravi Shavi, here's Accidental Mental.
Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until the game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Real talk, it's hard to find. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental break. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental break. Accidental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain. So much pain until that game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All of the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Ow! Accidental mental break.